everybody's in a bad mood. Shinde kudasai. Okay. Grammar works. It's not a very nice sentiment, but it works, right? Eigo o hanashite kudasai. Okay. Anata wa kono kahan o shite kudasai? What are we trying to say here?
I will you carry this bag?
Oh, okay. So, kahan, what's missing?
Bomb?
Yeah, it's kaban.
Ah. Okay.
So, kaban o. And then what's the word for carry or hold? Anybody?
持ってくるよ。
Motte. Motte kudasai is please hold it. Motte kudasai. Motsu is the verb.
Okay.
Okay. So, すみません。ちょっと得てください。What's 得て?
What? Oh.
I'm confused.
Yeah, no,
What
I
were
just
you
messed
trying
up.
for?
Oh, I didn't even put the
Yeah,
O
she left
sheet.
out a part.
Yeah, I supposed
Oh.
to the
Like,
O sheet. Yeah.
Oh, shiete kudasai.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I was talking while I was writing it. and
And you just left out a couple
I
letters.
just
Okay.
kept going. I didn't need them.
Right.
I'm
Chotto
doing a good
shiete
time.
kudasai. So please teach me something a little bit. Yeah, the chotto in this kind of circumstance isn't really a little bit as in just teach me a little piece of whatever it is. It's more like just softening the whole statement so that it sounds more of a gentle request rather than a demand. That's what it does for various statements like that. Chotto, when it's not literally a small amount, it softens the statement. Okay, so chotto oshiete kudasai is like, please could you help me out here a little bit? I want you to teach it to me. That kind of thing. Okay. 本を読んでください。はい。家を帰ってもいいですか? Oh, 家に帰ってもいいですか? That works. 家に帰ってもいいですか? So, we haven't covered the structure yet, but it's one that you hopefully were doing for homework. So does everybody understand what this one's doing? 家に帰ってもいいですか? Is it okay if I return home? Okay. Okay. So real quick before we get into the textbook stuff, we're going to try the splitting the vocab into got it or not so much categories. Okay, so just as a reminder, point that way if you still need help. Don't have it yet. And point this way if you feel like you really have it down. Okay, so just do like that or like that with your thumb. And I'll just kind of try to glance around, and if it seems like, if I'm seeing people pointing that way, I'll put it in this pile. If everybody's pointing this way, I'll put it in this pile. Make sense? Okay, and we'll start with some longer ones first this time. 本当ですか means, really? Okay, anybody over here? Okay. Subu, anybody?
Next. No. No, I.
Subu means
Right away.
right away. So, for example, sugu ikimasu, I'm going right now. You know, that kind of thing. It's fine, it's okay. Don't worry about it, something like that. Anybody? Somebody give me feedback. Kara?
Yes, that's because.
Because. Okay. Sometimes translated more as therefore, sometimes more like that's why, it'll make more sense when we talk about it in context, but definition-wise, everybody's okay? Right. Motte kuru, motte kimasu.
To bring, isn't it?
Right, to bring with you, right? Motte is hold or carry, kuru, come. So you're coming while carrying it, so that's bringing it, right? Make sense? Which side? Right. Surete kuru, surete kimasu. To bring a person, right? Sureru is like to accompany, as in a human. So surete kuru, to bring someone. Anybody? Wasureru?
Forget to leave behind.
No, forget. Anybody
I
have feedback?
forgot it.
You forgot it?
Yeah.
Wasureru. Wasureru, wasuremashita. Denwa o
Does that make a phone
sukakeru.
call?
Yes, make a phone call.
Mm.
Okay, which way? Right.
To take a shower.
Right, so abiru. Let's say it in Japanese first because it's good practice. Right, shao abiru, abimasu. Right, abimashita. Dochi.
I mean, the shower part gives it away.
Shawa kind of gives it away, but abiru by itself doesn't get used for a whole lot else. So if you just kind of memorize it as a set phrase, that helps. Yaru. Tsukemasu. Thank you, tsukemasu. Computer tsukemasu. Right? Right, to turn on.
I don't remember that one.
Tabako o suu. Tabako o suu. Okay? Good or bad? Good? Tatsu.
Tachimasu.
Tachimasu.
To stand up.
Hai.
I forgot it.
Yep, okay.
What would you do?
Hai.
To take a bath.
Yeah, hai.
Enter the
Take a
bath.
bath. Hai. Hai. Hai.
Tough.
Tough, as in a situation.
Yes, tough as in challenging, difficult,
That's rough, buddy.
rough, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, a test can be taihen, but also like a mountain trail could be taihen. You know, a day could be taihen, you know, if you had a rough day that day. 今日は大変でした. That kind of thing. Okay,
Biden,
Ryan?
next year.
Next year, okay? And again, the breakdown on these is helpful sometimes. The nen you know from ichi nensei, ni nensei. Remember that nen? Rai is the same kanji as kuru, to come. Okay, it's just, this is the onyomi versus kuru being the kunyomi. But it's the same, so it's like coming year, right? So Rainen, Raigetsu for next month, Raishu for next week.
Right there.
Raishu, yeah, there it is. Raishu. Okay. Not so sure yet. We'll leave it over here for now. Yoru, night.
Versus night or evening?
Yeah, both kind of yoru, evening or night, depending on the context or the usage.
It says night, so.
Oh, as long as you can read your katakana, you can read this one, right? And I think everybody kind of knows what this one is, yeah? Think Nintendo, PlayStation, yeah. Wii, right, Wii. Right,
Oh, it's municipal
Mingyori,
hospital.
Municipal hospital, right. Dochi, right.
Honshu.
Honshu.
This week.
This week, Remember the shu from raishu?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kon is the kanji that means ima. It's also the kon in konnichiwa, konbanwa.
Right.
Okay, so it means now or this. So konshu, now week, this week. Right, dochi.
We've already had Senshu.
Yeah. Yeah, so the shu is somewhat familiar, right? Hopefully this one's self-explanatory.
Not at first though.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's like, what's
shidi,
What are they talking about?
shidi, yeah. They're not talking about something being seedy. It's shidi. Yeah, the hyphens help. Generally things that are, just, what's it called, abbreviations like, initials, letters from English tend to take the long vowel extensions just because that's how it comes out when you're stating initials. So DVD does the same thing. CD and DVD.
Oh, sure.
Kyokuso.
Textbook.
Hai. Kyokuso. Kochi, right?
Ba-san.
Oba-san. Hai. Oba-san.
Chan.
Okane.
Okane.
Okane. Okane.
Money.
Money. Which way?
Right for me.
Right.
Oh wait, sorry, I meant my right, but.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do smaller stuff. Okay, so this one is Yukuri. Who remembers it?
Yeah.
I remember the phrase, but I can't remember what it is.
Slowly.
Ah.
One more time, say it one more
Yukuri.
time.
Oh no.
Ready, what? After that,
Later on.
later, after.
Yasumi.
Yasumu.
Yasumimasu.
Yasumu, yasumimasu.
To take an absence.
Yeah, to be absent, but it can also be to take a rest, take a break, even take a vacation.
But that's
So
also for saying you want to take a nap.
Yeah, sometimes, yes, sometimes.
This is a sign, I gotta go.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna take a
it,
nap.
yeah, well, and it's the same root as in oyasumi nasai. And the noun yasumi that we had before, an absence, a break. So, yasumu. Okay, so, kochi. Ini. Osieru. Osiete kudasai. Shiemasu.
Tell our teacher.
はい。はい。どうですか？こっち。Ready to do?
It's either, I want to say it's either to borrow or to return.
Yeah, which one is it though?
That's-
Hareru.
It depends.
Yeah, it's, this one's to borrow.
Okay.
Hareru. Haretemo ii desu ka? May I borrow it?
It implies that you will return it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but kaesu is to return. Haerimasu, yeah.
To enter.
To enter, yes.
Okay,
So,
so to enter the
ofuro ni
bath.
haeru is to enter the bath, but haeru by itself just means to enter. So, like entering a room or whatever. The kanji for this one looks like hito backwards. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
literally, yeah, it's literally that.
I had to Google that to see if it was Hito.
Yeah, there's hito and there's haeru.
Why do they do that?
Some fonts it has a little hat on the top.
Yeah, sometimes it's got a little bit of a hook there, but in handwritten form, it usually doesn't.
In typing, it's just, Hito is symmetrical, and then that one looks like that has a.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has a slant to it.
yeah. But haeru is also like, if you see it like this, it's read differently. It's yuriguchi, but it means entrance.
I thought it was lettuce. Someone's
No.
fine.
It's just somebody's phone in a different room.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, Losing it. It's not my phone.
Okay, so anyway, hairu, dochi. Hairu,
Oh, okay.
koko, koko,
What did it mean again?
enter.
Okay, so,
Over here.
like we went over that, and I was like,
Scout,
Scout, gaimasu.
scout, saimas, to use, yeah. So, dochi. Right. Shinu.
Shinimasu.
Shinimasu.
Put it here. Everyone knows
Yeah.
it. They're all
Yeah.
giggling.
Right,
Asobu.
Asobu.
Asobimasu.
oh, to play.
to play, yes.
Spend time
Asobu.
leisurely.
Spend time leisurely.
Or fuzzy,
Asobu,
or in the
asobimasu. Asonde kudasai. Haisu. Return. Haiste kudasai. Please return it. Don't know that one, right? Okay. Pasokon.
Personal computer.
Yeah. Remember, this is one of those short ones where in English, we tend to shorten things by just taking the initials. That doesn't work that conveniently in Japanese since they don't really do initials. But what they do instead a lot of times is they just take the first one or two syllables of each piece and put that together. So, personal computer got shortened to pasokon.
Pokemon, Pocket Monsters.
Yeah,
all that.
Pocket Monster became Pokemon.
Cosplay, costume play.
Yeah, yeah,
What was the,
costume play became cosplay. You know, yeah. Dreams Come True was a 90s music group that became Dorikamu.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Explains the demo.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are lots of those abbreviations. Yeah. Even like, what was the one I just learned the other day? It was, it was something, it was a new term for cell phone. But it was, yeah, I can't remember it now. It was something, and it just ended with the whole, like haki hu ho, because hon for phone is one of the spellings that's sometimes used. So it was something like cerebro for cell phone. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Because the old one, when cell phones were new, they used to call them keitai denwa, which is literally satellite telephone. And that's just too long.
That's
Nobody
not
wants to
even
say
Well,
all
they used to
that.
be big. So.
Yeah, yeah, keitai denwa is for kanji, and nobody wanted to mess with that. So I think it's just settable now, which is interesting. So anyway, so pasokon is good, everybody? Hey, mimotsu. Mimotsu is a suitcase,
Oh, that's right.
luggage, baggage.
Baggage.
And if you think about it this way, you know what motsu is as a verb? Motsu, mochimasu, to carry, right? So if you think about it as nimotsu is stuff to carry. You know? So, どうですか? Over here for now. Denki. Electricity or electric lights. It's one of those things where it originated as the general term for electricity, but then it kind of got conflated with lights because that's the most obvious usage of electricity that we see all the time. So they just kind of got conflated. Next, right? I use that all the time in class, so does everybody kind of already know that one? Ofuro. Bath, right. Not so sure? Okay. Deru, to exit, yes. And this is also the kanji in deguchi, which means an exit. So just like iriguchi is an entrance, deguchi is an exit. Okay, so but deru, dochi. Okay, not okay.
So for the name Yamaguchi, would they use that?
Yamaguchi, yeah, this Yamaguchi would be,
Are there any other kanji for Gucci?
for surnames, I think that's the basic main one. I can't think of any others for Kuchi or Gucci. Okay, osoku. Osoku,
Late.
late, yeah. So for example, osoku kairimashita, he returned home late. Osoku nemashita, he slept late.
I wish.
Yeah, well, no, osoku nemashita actually means like you went to bed late at night, but nebo suru is to sleep in the morning.
Oh, I love that one. That
Yeah.
one's good.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite, right? Osoku, so, and this late is the adverb late, so it modifies verbs, adjectives. Dochi, good or not so good? Yeah. Akeru. Hai, akeru. Open. Nobody really knows that one yet. Oriru. Anybody?
Mm-mm.
Disembark, get off. Yes, like get off the train. So, denwa kara oriru.
Just a good one to know if you're
Densha
traveling.
rather, denwa. Said denwa, I meant densha. Densha kara oriru, to get off the train. Bus
That's
kara
fun.
oriru, to get off the bus. Yeah, it doesn't really work for get off the phone.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you,
No, you're not debarking from the phone.
I mean,
Unless you're in a phone booth, maybe.
No, it still doesn't
traveling,
work.
maybe it works for Doctor Who.
This is possible, yeah, yeah. TARDIS kara oriru. Yeah, that could work. That's the only time it works. Okay, so shimeru is shimemasu. To, no, not to borrow. Shimeru is
To close
close
Oh,
something.
Yeah, it's like
Close,
one of
shimeru.
it.
Yeah, sometimes your eye
too, and I was
travels,
like, wait,
right?
it's borrow. It is. No,
Shimeru.
it wasn't.
Okay. Mutsu,
Yeah, carry.
carry, hold. Right. Tetsudaou. Tetsudaou. Tetsudatte kudasai. To help. Right.
What, yeah, why did you?
Tetsudaou. Yeah, tetsudaou, to help. That's a good one to know. Yeah,
That's the one that I
taskeru
know.
is like save you,
No, it's
yeah.
completely different.
So tetsudaou is like, shukurai o tetsudatte kudasai, please help me with the homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a casual.
Yeah, that's like, help me out with this versus,
Save me.
tasukete!
Save
It's
me.
like a monster.
Save me, yeah. Gojira ga kimashita. Okay, suwaru. Hai, suwaru, suwarimasu.
In that situation with the save me and help you,
Yeah.
people our age typically, like, I know that we do as a generation, like, exaggerate, like, a lot of hyperbole in our speech. Do they do
Yeah.
that there too?
Sometimes, yeah, so like, you know, if you're having a lot of trouble with your homework and you wanted to use tasukete, you know, I think people would get that as being, you know, sarcastic or,
Yeah, like, if
hyperbole,
they use,
Casual, maybe.
yeah, if, you know, if you're with your friends and you're like, この宿題は大変、助けて Save me from this.
do they do the same thing with, like, man, you're killing me, or something like that?
I'm gonna
'cause,
die.
I literally
Some-
died.
Sometimes, like, shiniso, like, I feels like I'm gonna die, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can see that maybe happening with friends in
Oh, yeah,
very
in a
casual
casual
situations. Yeah, you wouldn't say that to your sensei.
True.
Yeah, and some of that stuff, you know, well, you know, just like in American culture, there are things that you say to your friends that you wouldn't say to, like, your mom's coworker, right?
Or you would, and you're an embarrassment to the family.
Right.
Always unintentional.
Yeah, so, you know, just like there are differences in English culture, you don't think about it as hard in your own culture, because you know where the boundaries are, so you don't have to focus on, well, is this okay to say here or not? When it's a different language, you have to think about it more, because it's not obvious immediately necessarily. これは急ぐ isogimasu.
That's the-
To be in a hurry, yes, to hurry up. So isogimashita, I rushed, you know. So which way?
I don't know.
Let's see. Kasu, for example, kokuban, keshimasu. Right?
Why is there no?
This is actually called a kokuban keshi.
Keshigomu.
Yeah, keshigomu. Yeah, keshigomu is from keshimasu, to erase, and kokuban keshi, kokuban meaning blackboard, and then keshi, to erase. So kokuban keshi is this thing, and the kind you use with your pencil on your paper is a keshigomu. So, yeah, so keshimasu over here probably for now. Mado.
Window.
Hi. Anybody over here? Hi. Page. Hopefully everybody knows this one by now. I've been using it since day one, right? Densha.
Electric train.
Electric train, yes. And it literally is the kanji for electric vehicle. Right. Shawa. Hopefully that one's obvious. Kanji should be pretty obvious. Alright, okay, speaking of which, kanji o勉強しましょう。Minami, I think most of these are gonna go over here, right?
Just
Yeah,
all over
okay.
them.
Minami is what, by the way?
Stuff.
South, yes. Okay.
Golly gosh.
Here's an idea for how you might be able to remember Minami. Traditionally, openings in Chinese culture and by extension Japanese culture tended to face the southern direction. Like, you know, if you're building a palace or a house, you want the main entrance to face south. Even like the whole Forbidden City layout, the main front entrance of the whole city faced south. South was just the right direction to face, and if you look at it, where's the opening? To the south. Okay? So that's a way to kind of visually have a mnemonic for what this one looks like and that it means south. Because there's nothing inherently southern looking about it to Western eyes, right? But if you think about that concept of like the Forbidden City or something with the main entrance being in the south, and that's Minami. Okay?
Go something.
Yeah, Gohun. Gohun means 5 what? 5 minutes, okay? So this fun is going to shift its pronunciation depending on what number of minutes you're talking about, but the kanji remains constant. So it doesn't matter whether you're doing 1分, 2分, 3分, 4分, 5分, 6分, 7分, 8分, 9分, or 10分. And then from 11分, it just repeats that same pattern. So whatever the single digit with fun is, whatever pronunciation you use there, if it's 11分, let's say 21分, 31分. So it's the final letter, the final number in the pronunciation that determines the pronunciation shifts that happen. And if you're ever lost as to which one's which, you've got that chart in the back of your textbook that lays it all out for you. If you look for the fun kanji in the compounds, it's, fun and funkan. It's the one that says H arrow P, meaning that H is turned into P's. So 1分, 2分, 3分, 4分, 5分, 6分, 7分, 8分, 9分, 10分, or 10分. And then 何分 for how many minutes.
It says at the bottom there
Uh-huh.
that it turns into minutes if you add con on there.
Yeah, so fun and funkan are related concepts. Fun is for telling time, you know, so if it's 3:35 according to that dead clock, or no, 2:35 rather, so it's Niji 35 分. Okay, that's what that clock is reading right now, Niji 35 分, right? So anytime you've got any clock time, you know, if it's 55 minutes past the hour, 55分. If it's 23 minutes, 23分, like that, okay? And sometimes in Japanese, if the person already knows what hour it is and they just need to know how many minutes passed, the person answering will just say the minutes. You know, so if you already know it's past 3, but you're just not sure exactly how far past 3, and you ask your friend, 11分, you know, it's 11 minutes out, you know, something like that. If you say, for example, 15分間, that's like a 15-minute time duration. So like, how long is it going to take you to get ready? 30分間, 30 minutes of time, you know, so you tell your friend to give you an hour to get ready, 1時間, right? If you tell your friend you only need 30 minutes to get ready, 3分間. Okay, make sense? So you can use the kan to change a time phrase from clock time into duration of time. You know, and the kan ending, that suffix works on other types of time phrases as well. So ichinen is a year, ichinen kan would be a year duration. Okay, so get 1ヶ月間, a month's duration, something like that. Okay, so 5分. Correct?
What?
Sense that.
Sensei. Right. So you know what it means, now you just have to get used to the kanji for it, right? Sensei. So, and we will talk about how to write these also, if that's something that you're having an issue with. では、はい、大学生。はい。So you know these vocabulary. So now here's some that's new. Kitaguchi.
North entrance.
Yes, north exit or entrance, yeah. Yeah, they translate it as north exit, but really it's like north portal, that's both entrance and exit, right?
North door.
Yeah, north door. Yeah, so kitaguchi. Yeah, because if you're entering the train station via the kitaguchi, then it's an entrance for you. But somebody else could be exiting from that same door, then it's, that kitaguchi would be their exit. So, kitaguchi. So, and again, if you're thinking in terms of like, you know, a map with a compass label on it, this kind of looks like it's pointing up, sort of. So that's kitaguchi. That's a way to think of it anyway. Deguchi is exit, right? That's the same deru kanji, deguchi. Okay. Hidari, yes. Okay, and migi is the one that has, I'm just looking for migi so I can show you them to you side by side. Let's see, where'd migi go? There it is. Okay, so if you look at migi hidari, I always think of hidari as looking like flat palm. You've kind of got like the lines showing on the palm of your hand, and migi as a fist. So if you think about, you know, making a fist with your right hand and a flat with your left hand, sometimes just doing the physical mnemonic along with it helps you remember. You know, and you know, if you know like Chinese martial arts stuff, you know, the fist in the hand thing, that's another way to think of it, because I'm pretty sure it goes right fist, left open palm when they do this for bowing. I'm pretty sure that's the right direction for that one. So that's a way to think of it. Migi hidari. So migi is right, hidari is left. I'm trying to put them in the correct direction for you guys. Get myself turned around here. So, migi, hidari. Good? Obviously, I'll keep these in this pile. Okay, this one?
It's also pronounced
Is,
Nishi.
Nishi.
I know it's the west one.
Yes, it's the west one. So, yeah, again, if we're making a compass, that, Minami, Nishi,
Put those on my door. Inside
There.
my door.
so, you know, so if you wanted to count this direction, ichi, ni, san, shi, then nishi, which looks kind of like a 4, would be your 4th direction if you start from the north and go around clockwise. So that's a way to kind of remember. When they do like the northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast directions, they do the opposite order that we do. So like Tohoku is the east-north, the northeastern part of Japan is called Tohoku. They do this part first. And they use Chinese readings for those compounds normally. So
Good thing we're not taking geography.
yeah. Yeah, so there's Nishi. And that is, of course, Higashi. Yeah, and this one we talked about last time, the way to remember it being that it's the sun coming up behind the trees, sunrise in the east. So Higashi. There we have Kita, north. Hai, Gaikokujin. So,
Something person.
outside country person. Okay, this soto guy, it's soto when it's a standalone, it means outside, literally, like outdoors, not indoors. But gaikoku is outside country, anything other than Japan is an outside country gaikoku. So gaikokujin is outside country person. Gaijin is like that. And it's considered ruder because you're literally calling somebody an outsider. So gaijin is considered not as polite a term, not as PC as gaikokujin. Okay? And
Outsider versus foreigner.
right, yeah. So, and then some people in the rural areas used to use the term gaijin-san to try to make gaijin sound more polite. And gaikokujin was more awkward to them. So this one, of course, is juppun. So we talked about the pun stuff, so juppun, 10 minutes. Gakusei. Right, gakusei. So this is gaku, and it also gets the ga from gakko is also this kanji. So it's sometimes it's gaku, and sometimes that ku changes to a small tsu in certain compounds. Yeah, south exit, Minami Guchi. Does it help to know that Minami is also a surname? So like Mr. South, Minami-san. Yeah, Minami.
Let's call all settlers that, just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, Minami is also the name of a town that I used to teach in, but they didn't use this kanji for it. They actually used a combination of the kanji for beautiful and I think it was waves. So it's like beautiful waves village
Oh.
because it's on a river.
Sounds like a place in Florida, you know, Bell, beautiful waves.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Nishi Guchi, which is west next exit. Right.
Ah, I got good.
Daigaku, where we are right now. This is OP, different reading for the kanji, but it's the same meaning, right?
Still want
The
to
dai in daigaku means great studies, as in, you know, bigger, greater than Koko, high school. Okay, daigaku. And then Ooki is just big, large. So waiting for this one again?
Higashi.
Higashiguchi is an east exit, and deru to go to exit. Gaikoku, foreign country, right? And Chugoku, middle kingdom, middle country, right? You've heard of China called the Middle Kingdom, right? That's a literal translation of Chugoku, which is, you know, they call it the same thing in Chinese, they just pronounce it with the Chinese pronunciation.
Their language they call middle writings.
Yeah, one of the terms for Chinese is,
Like on Wikipedia, that's what it calls like that.
yeah. Yeah, because the Naka kanji that is part of Chugoku also gets used as the shorthand for China when things Chinese, just like the Nichi kanji that's in Nihon, that first piece of Nihon, gets used as a shorthand for Japan. So like in a headline, if they're talking about Japan-China relations in a headline, they might just write the Nichi and the Chu, and then whatever the other part of the headline is for Japan and China. Yeah, because headlines need to be brief anyway, so if you've got a single kanji abbreviation that you can use in place of a multi-kanji term, why not use it? So they use a lot of those kinds of abbreviations. Most of the major countries that are known well in Japan have a single kanji abbreviation, even if their normal way of referring to them is with katakana. There's a kanji, usually a single kanji that works as an abbreviation. So there's, you know, a kanji short form for America, a kanji short form for India, for France, for Germany.
Oh, they gave us kanji.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ours is beikoku in kanji. So the bei is actually a kanji that means uncooked rice. Which is, yeah, it was mostly picked for the phonetic value, but they actually do buy a lot of our rice.
Oh.
Yeah, they import a fair bit of California grown rice to Japan, so, because they can't produce enough for their own market anymore. They've got more people than they have rice fields these days, so they can't produce all the rice they need. Yeah. So, anyway, いいですか? So, let's see, we got as far as please bring your friend, I believe. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to do the sentences. So,
窓を開けてください。
はい、窓を開けてください。Please open the window, right? 千原さん、一番。
電気を消してください。
はい。Okay, turn off the light. Apparently it's already on, so he's asked to turn it off, right? 電気を消してください。Okay. 2番, what do you think?
It's like a please come with me, but I don't
Hi.
have, yeah.
So together would be
一緒。
はい、一緒に, and then come would be 来る, right? So the te form of that would be Furu changes to kite,
Kite. Okay.
right? So,
Okay, so 一緒に聞いてください。
はい、一緒に来てください。はい、じゃあ3番、タチアナさん。
椅子を座ってください。
Okay, 椅子に
お椅子に
座ってください。Or just 座ってください、depending on what you want to do. 座ってください or 椅子に座ってください。じゃあ4番。
出かけてください。
Okay. Or hurry up.
Hurry up, yeah.
Isogu, right? So,
So that's急いでください。
はい、急いでください. And what's she replying? They're both talking, right? So he's saying, 急いでください. Hurry up already.
She's saying 待ってください。
はい、待ってくださいね. She can't decide what to wear. Right, okay, and 5番.
窓を閉めてください。
はい、窓を閉めてください. Too much breeze now. He was hot before, now he's cold.
That's a different guy.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
It's the same girl though. That's
No, it
weird.
isn't. She doesn't have polka dots on her skirt and her hair's down.
Okay. So anyway, so now we're gonna make various requests. Okay. So I'm gonna let Andrea-san read the example.
コーヒーを飲んでください。
Right? So you tend to drink, right? Okay, so just whatever you want to come up with. どうぞ.
電話をかけてください。
電話をかけてください. Can you ask that out? Do you know what he said? 電話をかけてください. 電話をかけてください. はい. はい. What can you come up with? Anything. Could be old verbs too. It doesn't have to be the new vocabulary.
I just can't think of any right now.
How about inviting her to eat something? Telling her to eat the sushi. Sushi or yeah, 食べてください. はい、食べてください. Hi, oh, look at you with chopsticks. Right?
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Tobacco or she said she?
吸って.
Oh,
Su.
Okay.
吸って.
吸ってください.
This is a picture, so
Yeah.
写真
She didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, talking
You were
about
supposed to
that.
pretend to do it. That's okay.
I'm sorry, I was.
That's okay.
I was trying to think of a sentence.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
She was
Little
already on.
kids.
So, 写真を
撮って.
撮って
撮って.
ください。
撮る, 撮って. Because 撮る, 撮ります, it's an u verb, so it's a small つって. 撮る, 撮って.
写真を撮ってください。
はい。はい。
立ってください。すごく。
はい。
He didn't say sit down yet.
He didn't say Simon Says. He used
Yeah, we could do a Simon Says game with this stuff, couldn't we?
Maybe for review.
Yeah. はい、どうぞ. to him, yeah. はい、貸してください。はい。Okay, いいですか? Any questions about those? Okay, so does everybody get that you can use the te form with kudasai pretty easily, right? So the tricky part about that is just remembering how to conjugate your te forms, right? The concept of using kudasai is pretty straightforward. And for most of us, probably familiar already, because if you've watched any anime at all, you've heard it, right? Okay, so let's look at the next section. Terebi o mite mo ii desu ka? Okay, so let me just, I'm looking for the time, so I don't go over.
It's 10:26.
今何時ですか?
10:26.
はい。私の電話はどこでしょう。あ、ここ。はい、見ました。26分。26分。OK、じゃあ、パート2。OK、so テレビを見てもいいですか? わかりますか? So, もいいですか? Let's break this down a little bit. Okay, so it's the te form, right, of whatever verb. Mo, then I desu ka. So if you were going to break this down and define the parts, everybody understand the I desu ka part?
Is it good?
Is it good? Okay, is it, sorry, is it good? In this case, you could say like, is it okay? Is it fine? Right? So the mo, you remember from like also, right? It's not exactly literal here, but if you think of it that way, it kind of helps you get what they're really doing, because you're basically saying, is it okay if I do this verb? Okay? So you're just asking permission. So maybe you already know it's okay to do one thing. Is it also okay if I do this other thing? That's a way to think about it to help yourself remember that the mo is the particle you use there. Okay? So for example, John, Andrea-san, you want to read our example for us? Terebi o miru. Hi. So, and then if you wanted to give her permission, do you know what you would reply?
Hi, Edith.
Hi, Edith. That works. Yes, it's fine. Okay. And then if you wanted to be more emphatic, say, hi, Edith, yo. Okay, so for now, let's just practice asking the questions and giving permission for all of them. Okay, and then because the denying permission, saying no, you're not allowed to do that, is a separate structure. It's a little bit different. So we're going to practice just te mo ii desu ka? Hai, ii desu yo. Let's just practice that much, and then we'll go on to the next thing.
So then the trick will be remembering how to conjugate the te.
Right. So at this point, you know, most of the exercises in this chapter are all about using te form. So we're just going to get lots and lots of practice conjugating to get to te form. Okay? So どうぞ1番。
タバコを吸ってもいいですか?
はい、
はい、いいですよ。
いいですよ。
Another, so はい、いいですよ is one way to say yes, it's okay. はい、いいですよ. Another way, if you prefer, would be はい、どうぞ. That's like, yes, be my guest. Okay? Yeah, どうぞ is like, yeah, sure, go ahead, be my guest. So, はい、どうぞ or はい、いいですよ. So, it's the equivalent of saying, sure, that's fine, or be my guest, whichever you feel like using. So those are two good yes answers. So, どうぞ、2番。
窓を閉めてもいいですか？
もういいですか？
いいですか？
はい、いいですよ。
はい、いいですね。So, notice the difference. 窓を閉めてください would be please close the window for me, because I don't want it open anymore. 窓を閉めてもいいですか is it okay if I close the window? Because you might want it open, but I really want it closed now. So I'm asking, is it okay with you if I close it? So you see the difference?
It's cold.
はい。どうぞ。
朝シャワーを浴
浴びて。
びて、もういいですか？はい、どうぞ。
はい、どうぞ。Do you guys know why it's even a question if it's okay to shower in the morning?
Because take all the hot water. I don't know.
Is it because of the big family thing that they do?
Well, it's partly that. A lot of Japanese homes, the tradition is to bathe at night in Japan. The idea being you're getting all the day's dirt and sweat off before getting into your PJs and going to sleep. And also because it's supposed to be relaxing to get in the tub afterwards. But the other reason is because they don't usually leave their hot water heaters turned on all day. They turn them on for a couple hours at night to heat the water for bathing at night. And that's also usually when they wash the dishes from dinner time. And then they turn it off again. And so there may or may not be any hot water left in the storage tank by the next morning. So
Get a grill early and turn it on. but
so,
no.
yeah, so part of the question is about, is it okay, can I turn the hot water heater back on? It takes more electricity that way. It costs more money for the host family that way. So, their answer might be, if there's enough hot water left, go ahead and use it, but we're not turning it on. So if you run out of hot water in mid-shower, you're out of luck. Finish it with a cold shower,
Maybe you want to take a cold shower.
Yeah, that's possible too. So, that's part of the reason, and it's considered like making more work for your hostess, because maybe she was up really early and already scrubbed the tub and shower. And so you're making more work for her by getting it all wet again after she already cleaned everything. And they literally, most families, at least in the past, used to only turn the hot water heater on long enough to have enough hot water for everybody in the family to shower and bathe, and then that was it. They'd turn it off for the night. And they'd just turn it on again, usually around dinner time, so that it would have time to heat up enough for that night's bathing.
Is that only at like houses, or do they do the same thing like at hotels for tourists?
I think the major tourist hotels do keep it on all the time,
make
especially
enough
the
money.
Western style ones. The little ryokan, the little Japanese style traditional inns that are like mom and pop owned family places, some of them are actually old converted houses that literally only have enough space for a few guests. Those very often still go by the traditional home rules where there's only bathing at night. So you would have to ask in a place like that if you can get a morning shower or not. And also the dorms. When I was in the dorms in college, the heater was only turned on at night for a little while. And it would get turned off before everybody was necessarily done. So like, there was a window, it would get turned on at this time, turned off at this time. If you didn't get your shower in between, then it was just however much hot water was left in the tank, and if you ran out, you were just out of luck. There were like set rules when it was turned on, because whoever was in charge of turning it on and off had to go to bed sometime. So she had to turn it off before she was going to bed. So if you got back just before curfew and she'd already turned it off because she was going to bed early.
Hope there's some help hardwood.
Yeah. cold shower that night.
Then you'll love your bed when you do it.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on. 4番、どうぞ。
遅く書いてもいいですか？
はい、いいです。友達を連れてきてもいいですか？
はい、いいですよ。
はい、どうぞ。
音楽を聴いてもいいですか？
はい。夜出かけてもいいですか？
はい、いいですか？
いいですよ。
あ、いいでしょう。
はい。
本校
パソ
を使ってもいいです。
はい、いいですよ。
はい。
自転車を借りて
はい、書いて。
もいいですか？
はい。
はい、いいですよ。
はい、いいですね。Okay, so now you're going to be making up from the English problems. So, 1番、どうぞ。
Alright, you're in class, you're raising.トイレ
トイレ
is it
に
トイレに
行く。
Okay, just 行く、right.
Yeah.
行ってください。
行っても
もういいですか？
Because you're not telling me to go, you're asking if you can go.
Yeah, it's been a long morning.
Yeah, okay, so トイレに行ってもいいですか? Okay, so you pretend to be the sensei and tell her it's okay.
Or tell me I can't. I mean,
はい。いいですね。
いいですね。はい、じゃあ2番どうぞ。
うちに帰ってもいいですか？
はい、いいです。
はい、どうぞ。
Okay, this one. 宿題を忘れました。明日持ってきてもいいですか？
はい、いいですよ。
はい、
Thank
there you
you.
go. You're a very understanding teacher. Ah, はい、4番ですね。
There you go. There you go. There you go. 話してもいいですか？
はい。And then she answers.
いいですよ。
はい。ですね。じゃあ5番。
私のでもいいですか？
はい、どうぞ。
はい、どうぞ。
Celebrity.
はい。いい例ですね。はい、じゃあ6番は。
電気をつけてもいいですか？
いいですよ。
はい、いいですね。That's kind of a strange example, but I got you to use 電気をつけてもいいですか? Okay, so keep going with the practice, and next class we will also work on how to say that you're not allowed to do something. Yeah, so there's a whole new grammar structure that uses the particle wa instead of the particle mo to say you're not allowed to do X. Okay, so we'll do that next time. And then we'll deal with the kara stuff and ましょうか。